Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on one of the most complex logistical operations on the entire planet, what it takes for the President of the United States to travel. What you see on the news, that's just a tiny, tiny fraction of a mission that involves thousands of people, mind-boggling sums of money, and planning so precise it makes military operations look simple.
And when you dig into what happens behind the scenes, well, it gets wild. We're talking about the president's personal toilet seat traveling with him to prevent DNA collection. His own blood supply is kept chilled in his limo, just in case. They even hire men to impersonate monkeys to help clear an area. I know, it sounds bizarre, right? But it all points to a very serious question. Why is all of this absolutely necessary?
Well, the journey doesn't start on the day of the flight. It begins months, literally months, before the president even thinks about packing a bag. There's this massive, unseen machine that grinds into motion long before we ever hear about a trip. Look, this isn't like booking a flight online. It's a whole bureaucratic dance that starts at the highest levels of government. It kicks off with discussions, then the president has to give the official go-ahead. From there, memos and orders are signed and sent out, and that's what finally gets a specialized team deployed to the destination country.
And this team, the Advanced Survey Team, they are the absolute core of this entire operation. You've got experts from the Secret Service, the military, communications, all of them. They are the boots on the ground months ahead of time, turning this abstract plan into a physical, secure reality. And their level of detail is just incredible. They analyze every single possible road. They're asking questions you'd never dream of. Are the streets wide enough for a 9-ton limo to pull a U-turn? What's the sun glare going to be like at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday? Every route has backups for its backups, and there has to be a top-tier trauma hospital within a 20-minute drive at all times.
The airport where he lands? Oh, it's not just an airport anymore. It becomes the first fortress. The runway has to be a specific size. They take samples of the local jet fuel and fly them back to the United States for testing. A huge chunk of the airport goes on complete lockdown under total Secret Service control. And yes, they map out sniper positions on every single rooftop and tower for miles around.
The hotel he stays in is transformed into what's basically a mini White House. They secure the president's floor, but also the floor directly above it and the one directly below it. Any virtual tours of the hotel get scrubbed from the internet. All the hotel staff get revetted by police. They even set up their own food testing lab. And the president's room gets outfitted with brand new bulletproof glass.
So with all that groundwork laid, the actual physical hardware of the operation starts to move. This is where that mobile fortress really begins to take shape across the globe.
You see, long before the president even steps onto Air Force One, his entire security bubble is already there waiting for him. These enormous C-17 Globemaster cargo planes have already flown over the whole motorcade. We're talking the Beast, its decoy, and even the Marine One helicopters.
And from the second he leaves the White House, a classic shell game begins. Marine One isn't one helicopter. It's just the call sign for whatever helicopter the president happens to be on. And it flies in a swarm of up to 5 identical helicopters, all constantly shifting formation, making it practically impossible for anyone on the ground to know which one is the real target.
And then there's Air Force One. This thing is not just a plane, it's a flying command center designed to survive the absolute worst-case scenarios. It has an operating room for surgery, it can refuel in midair, and its electronics are hardened to survive the electromagnetic pulse from a nuclear blast. It's basically the safest place on Earth, even at 35,000 feet.
Okay, so he's landed safely. Now he gets into the motorcade. And this isn't just a few cars. It's a rolling fortress, one of the most complex vehicle convoys you will ever see.
Let's start with the star of the show, the presidential limo, the Beast. And let's be clear, this is not a car. It's a 9-ton armored fortress built on a heavy-duty truck chassis.
Just check out the windows. They are 5 inches thick. That's enough to stop armor-piercing bullets or a direct bomb blast. The doors are so heavy, they're comparable to the cabin door on a Boeing 757 jetliner. It's insane.
And the Beast isn't just a passive chunk of armor. It can actively defend itself. It can deploy a smokescreen, release an oil slick to spin out pursuing cars, and it even has tear gas cannons. The cabin itself is totally sealed with its own filtered air supply to protect against a chemical or biological attack.
The entire motorcade is like a self-contained ecosystem on wheels. You've got cars that clear the route ahead, two identical beasts so no one knows which one is real, a vehicle that jams all remote signals to stop IEDs, a truck full of heavily armed counter-assault team agents, a mobile communications hub, and even a vehicle ready to handle a nuclear or chemical attack. It's the whole shebang.
So, as you've probably been wondering this whole time, what on earth does all of this cost? Well, the price tag for this level of security is, frankly, astronomical.
Now, the White House has disputed this exact figure, but a report from the Economic Times during one particular visit put the estimated daily cost at a staggering $200 million. That's for a single 24-hour period.
To really put that number into perspective, that same analysis pointed out that the cost of a single day of presidential travel is roughly the same as the entire daily economic output of a country like Nepal. Think about that for a second. It's a figure that just highlights the unbelievable scale of this operation.
So, what's the ultimate takeaway here? This almost unimaginable effort, this vast expense to protect just one person. It really says a lot about the complexities and the threats of the world we live in today. It leaves you wondering, doesn't it? About the nature of power, risk, and what security truly means.